Hello and welcome back to Starcastic Remarks alongside James and also Chris. My name is Ryan. Yes, thank you. I appreciate it so much. And this is Starcastic Remarks. Thank you to our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code THPN the next time you are there. Chris, stop smirking. And the next time you are there, you can receive a special little offer from them. I'd really appreciate that. If you use that promo code, it lets them know that we are the ones that sent you. If you are watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, please consider clicking like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. We are less than 50 away from the so coveted 1,000 subscribers for YouTube. We'd really appreciate your help there. If you would do so, click like and subscribe. Chris, it's been a while since you've been on here.
I wouldn't call what I'm doing a smirk. I would call that a grimace. And it makes sense that the 30-year-old would have such a lame dig at both of the much younger, smarter, and more attractive 20-year-olds.
Even James is like, huh? What?
I appreciate the compliments. That's for sure.
There we go. Yeah. Well, between the three of us, you are the one that hasn't been on here the most lately, Chris. And it's just with all of your stuff, you have to go to bed at like what, 8?
I'm busy, man. I'm busy.
What? But it is 8 o'clock, right? You have to go to bed at like an elementary school kid.
Yeah, bouts.
But in his defense, though, you do have to get up at like what, 4:30 in the morning? Is that right?
05.
Oh, that's not much better.
Value that 30 minutes.
Well, anyways, we have got a whole bunch of stuff for you guys to talk about here today. We wanted to throw this in here really quick because this is probably the last day that we can actually speculate about all of this. We're going to be looking at which Dallas Stars players will be on their country's Olympic roster. There's going to be a couple of hot takes in here, I think. We're going to get into one that I have a very strong feeling about, as do many other Stars fans. And if we have time, we'll take a look at specifically Team USA, Team Canada, and Team Finland, since those are going to be the main three that Stars are going to be attributed to. And then even after that, if we have time, which I doubt we will, maybe we can get into some trade rumor speculation of what we've seen. I kind of reposted some things on X earlier here today that I didn't really agree with. But either way, we're just going to start right off the bat with the Olympics. So with every Olympic cycle, there's surely we think that the best players are going to make the team, right? And that's not always the case. And the rosters start coming out, and then we're like, wait, this guy is on this team? Why is this guy on this team? And there's going to be some obvious names that we'll see tomorrow and then in the following days, and we're going to see some pretty shocking names. To be honest with you, I think there's going to be some omissions that are going to make us stop, including a very popular Dallas Stars player that we will get to. And we'll ask what problem a team thinks it's solving by choosing a certain player over another. So we're going to break this down Stars only first. And what I figured we'd do, guys, is we just go player by player. There's going to be some obvious ones. And we'll see who's already in, who's likely to make it, who's maybe on the bubble of making it, and who's really facing an uphill climb. Because there's a couple that I think could fit into any of one of those 4 categories. But let's build this off of some context first. And I think, and y'all can throw in some context here on top of what I say here, but I think this needs to be said first. That a lot of the time when people think about Olympic rosters, they think all-star teams. And they think the best players of the best players. And the thing is that Olympic teams are not necessarily all-star teams. Yes, there will absolutely be all-stars, and a lot of these teams will look like all-star teams, but they're not really going to be exactly that, like we think. And here's the thing about this is that these teams are small, they're tight, and they're built for short tournaments, not a 82 game regular season plus playoffs. I think these mistakes are going to be magnified a whole bunch in the Olympics because there's going to be a lot of players that don't have a ton of chemistry within their players. and there's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot more elite players that are going to be left off the rosters than we think. And there's then there's going to be some real weird ones. They're going to be like, wait, why is this guy on this team? And then we'll see, oh, well, because he does this in special teams, or he wins faceoffs, or whatever. There's going to be those type of players that make the rosters as well. So keep all of that framework in mind. The main thing is it's not an all-star team. Y'all have anything to add to that before we move on?
No, that's accurate, but also don't be stupid. Like,
well, we're going to get into that in a second. James, you got anything to add to that?
No, I agree.
Okay. So I'm just going to drop the bomb first off the bat, and we're going to go player by player. And we're just going to start with the most obvious one that a lot of people are talking about today, and that's Jason Robertson. There's no easing into this. Earlier today, it was reported that Jason Robertson appears to be on the outside of the projected Team USA Olympic roster. And that comes from Sean Shapiro, who talked to a couple of people within the Stars organization. And that comes even further from Michael Russo of The Athletic, who is also a reporter for the Minnesota Wild. Makes sense. Bill Guerin is the GM of the Minnesota Wild and also the Team USA general manager. And I need to be very clear about this. This is the most absurd thing in the world. This is a guy, and we're not talking about like a fringe scorer. This is not like a guy that only scores 20 goals a season or even 10 goals a season. Like, we're talking about one of the most productive American forwards in the NHL over the last 4 years. And so here's the thing. Over the last 3 years, Robertson ranks near the top among all American forwards in goals. He's elite at 5-on-5 scoring. He produces without sheltered minutes. If you look at his minutes, they've only gone up, especially this season. And he does it against top competition as well. It's not like he's facing off against, third and fourth liners. If the Olympics are really truly like about who can score and when games tighten up, I don't understand how this player, how Jason Robertson, can be expendable. At some point, you stop building a roster and you start building a theory, and that's what it feels like that Bill Guerin is doing with this roster. I'm expecting it now, just based off of what the reporting has been, but it will be a travesty if he's not on the Team USA roster. He has been one of the best players in the NHL, stats wise, this year. He's scoring goals left and right, like fine. He's showing physical battles in the corners and all that sort of stuff. He's added elements to his game. His skating has gotten better, which used to be an inhibitor. I just don't understand what else he needs to do. So, Chris, are we overthinking this at this point with this player, or is Bill Guerin, legitimate in the way that he's thinking about Jason Robertson?
Well, I think Bill Guerin is the one overthinking it, but I'll go ahead and give the devil's argument here, and that is everything we're hearing is that he wants to be a checking team. So everyone knows that Canada is just insane with the forwards. I mean, best forward group by far in the Olympics, and he wants to be able to match that defensively and have guys who can, take care of their own end as much as they can score. And on paper, that can kind of make sense. And I guess Robertson is thought of as a guy who is not really able to check as much. That's definitely a qualm we had with him after his first couple of playoffs, is that he didn't really step up and play playoff hockey, quote unquote. So I guess you can see where that argument is coming from there. But recently we've seen in the playoffs, he has been able to be more physical. He's not a small guy. Everyone thinks he's small. He's not. What is he, 6'3"? I mean, he's a big boy. So he's been using that recently, especially in these big games, especially in the playoffs. He's shown that he's not afraid to use the physicality. And then it's just like you said, it's overthinking it by a mile. He is the best American scorer of the past year, of the past 4 years, whatever measurement you want to do. If Jason Robertson has been in the league, he's been one of the best American scorers. So to leave him off the team is just stupid when you lost to Canada last year and only scored 2 goals in the championship game. I mean, it just kind of makes sense.
And honestly, Chris, I hate the argument that pops up when it says he's like not. You want someone who can take care of his own end, because I know we hate plus minus, but he is the second best in plus minus among forwards for the United States over the past 5 years. He's right behind Austin Matthews. That's the only player who he's behind in plus minus who is touted as like one of the best defensive forwards in the league.
Yeah, I agree. It's stupid. He is very good defensively. He's just not thought of as checking, which I guess that only means big and makes big hits to Bill Guerin. But he absolutely is a solid defender in his own end. He's always on the ice when the game is on the line for the Stars. I mean, it's dumb. I agree. That's the argument that's being given, though, is that he's not gritty and he's not checking. So,
and the other thing is that people keep holding on to what the arguments against Robertson used to be in the past, right? Okay, so I mean, we talked about it years ago with the fact that Robertson's skating is just not on par with everybody else. Okay, fine. You know what? It's not that way anymore. That's just based off of what I've seen from him playing the last 2 years, especially. I mean, if you want to talk about his defense, he's not a liability. He's not. I mean, the plus minus shows that, and as much as I hate that stat and people use it,
he's opposite
it's a
of
thing.
Defensively. He's good defensively. He is a solid defensive forward. I mean, he's proven that. And as far as the skating goes, I would actually say when you compare him to the other guys that are going to be playing against him in the Olympics, he is in the bottom, at least half of skaters. But you got Brock Nelson as a lock, and we're going to leave Robo out, and we're going to talk about his skating? Brock Nelson looked like an absolute pylon in the Four Nations faceoff in every single game and was terrible. He looked terrible in the playoff series that he played against Dallas last year. So if you're worried about guys who can't keep up with speed, I mean, that's another name you can look at for sure. So it really just doesn't make much sense any way you look at it. The only way you can slightly make it make sense is the grit factor. And even then, it really doesn't, because he shouldn't be playing in a role on that team where the grit factor comes into the case. He should be playing with Marner and Eichel or somebody like that. You should be playing on a goal scoring line because he's the best goal scorer the Americans have. So, yeah, it's looking like he's going to be left off. I'm trying to reserve some of my rage because I'm still holding out hope that it won't actually happen. But from all the reporting, it seems like he is going to be left off.
And especially when you talk about Austin Matthews, who truly is the U.S.'s best goal scorer, he has not had a good season this year. And
he was for sure on the team.
Yeah, he's for sure on the team. But he's looked very, very shaky the past couple of seasons, specifically in goal scoring. And that's something that Robertson, I feel like, has really ramped up in this season specifically.
Yeah. One of the weird things I wanted to point out is it looks like Bill Guerin is pretty much repeating what happened in the 2016 World Cup of Hockey for America, where America really decided, hey, we're gonna be a tight checking line. We're gonna build this team just like an NHL team is built, and they had pretty much true fourth line grinders and a third line checking line. They had the likes of Dustin Byfuglien, Justin Abdelkader, and David Backes on the team, and they got smoked in the World Cup of Hockey. They were terrible. I think they got knocked out in the quarterfinal. Like, they didn't even make the semis. So they're basically. Oh, and by the way, Tortorella was the coach on that USA hockey team as well. So all kinds of decisions were made that year, and yeah, it looks like they're doing essential. It's not the exact same thing. They went to extremes in 2016, and obviously they're not doing that this year. But it's the same ideas that they're using. For whatever reason, USA Hockey thinks that they have to. That you need to have a fourth line grinder on an Olympic team, which is not the case. All the lines can score. That's the point of the Olympic team, is that everybody is amazing. So trying to do it like the NHL is just stupid. And they're doing it again. They're repeating history.
The only thing I can think of that might be a reason why he's not on the Olympic team is he does not kill penalties. And
that's the stupidest part is he should never be in a penalty killing role. Literally anybody else could kill penalties. Like, Robo is supposed to score goals. That's what he does. It's the hardest thing to do in the sport, and he's the best American at it. That should be the end of the argument. He shouldn't be in the bottom two lines when he's on this team.
I'm telling you, Chris, you don't have to convince me. I'm not the one that disagrees with you.
I know we're trying to make the opposite argument. They just all piss me off.
Yes. I'm trying. I'm trying to throw smoke there because I'm trying to figure out what his deal is. Whether it's the physicality part of, and again, that would be a fair argument if it was like 2 years ago. But we've seen, especially this year, he's been a butthead at points, and he's not taking any crap from anybody. And he's shown he can be physical and use his big body. Like, but the only thing that would come out of it that's good from a Dallas Stars perspective is that he stays healthy. There is no chance for him getting hurt, at least from a hockey perspective, during those 3 weeks. And he gets 3 weeks off, and he continues to be one of the best goal scorers in the NHL, while everyone else is exhausted and tired. Some of the top players around the NHL, he's going to be, willfully just completely as exacerbated because everyone else had to, travel all the way across to Italy. So
yeah. And maybe more importantly, he's going to have a massive chip on his shoulder. I mean, that's what happened last year. He's left off the Four Nations roster, and then the second half of the season, he dominated. He was the best scorer in the entire league that second half of the season last year. So, yeah, from the Stars' perspective, it'd be good, but it's still dumb.
Thank you, Ardell, for the $5 super chat. We appreciate you. And this is he wanted to get this in to make sure that he got his opinion heard. If Robertson played for the Wild, he'd make the team. It's bias and stupidity. You can't name 12 better U.S. forwards than Robo. You have to score goals to win. And yet Matt Boldy is going to be on the team. And I'm not saying Matt Boldy doesn't deserve to be there, but Matt Boldy has someone in his back pocket to help him get there. That's just all I'm saying. And I think
there's other people you could point at before Matt Boldy, but yes, you're correct. And you saw the same thing for Canada. I mean, I don't know that Harley really gets the call to be the emergency defenseman if not for Jim Nill being a part of that roster construction for Canada. And the same with Pete DeBoer being the guy running defense for them as well. I mean, both of those guys are both very comfortable throwing Harley out there in what was a strange situation. And because of that, he played his way onto this Olympic roster probably too, despite how he's played this year. So it happens on both teams, but I mean, the Robertson omission is going to be the most gross one.
Okay, so we have to say what he is. Okay, so are we going to say he's in? He's likely, he's on the bubble, or he has no chance?
Well, I'm going to say he's on the bubble, but he should be in for sure. It would be the wrong decision, period, if he's not.
What about you, James?
I'm full copium. I think he's in.
I hope you are right. I would say he is a lock, but I'm going to go ahead and say he's on the bubble because of what Sean Shapiro tweeted earlier today.
Yeah, from the reporting, even Emily Kaplan had something else. She's like, it's basically going to be the same as Four Nations. And yeah, it makes me think, if I was a betting man, I'd bet for him to not be on the team.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about another Team USA possibility. Jake Oettinger. He's not automatically the starter, but I think he's absolutely going to be trusted. He plays big games in the playoffs. He's had a calm presence. He's proven the ability to steal games. Team USA has got some options in goaltending. Not as good as like if Russia was playing in the Olympics. Russia would be ridiculous, the goaltending they would have. But this is definitely not an area of weakness for Team USA. So, James, Jake Oettinger, where do you see him at? How do you see the goalie hierarchy kind of shaking out?
I mean, he's definitely under Hellebuck right now. You're going to trust the dude who's already been there. Honestly, I thought Hellebuck was good at Four Nations until it was time to step up. And there wasn't like a step up for him. He was already there. And that was something that I thought the States really lost in late in that game against Canada. Was Bennington just stood up and stopped everything. I mean, the United States had so many chances to score before McDavid's wide open chance slot.
My bad.
But
Nice job, Chris.
Hellebuck's going to be consistent, and he should be your first choice every time.
For those of you on the audio side, Chris just knocked his his mic
totally
just
smacked the crud out of it. But anyway,
he just beat the crap out of it like it was Bill Guerin. You will put Robo on the team. Anyways,
James, you're dead on, and that's kind of the problem with the goalie situation for America too, though, is like if you do just stick with Hellebuck no matter what because he's the best goalie in the world right now, like objectively, then you might be screwing yourself because Jordan Bennington has proven time after time that he's a clutch player and can really take it up to another level when the chips are on the table. And Hellebuck has proven time and time again that he does the exact opposite when the chips are on the table. So I think it's something really to look for as the actual tournament part of this tournament goes on, because I believe there's going to be the round robin, and then they'll actually get into the single elimination tournament play. So they'll definitely, Oettinger will get at least one start during the round robin stuff. But if, as we're going in the tournament play, if there's a close call in the earlier rounds up until I think the semifinal, then you might see a bold decision made to start Otter in the semifinal if, say, we squeak by like Czechia in the quarterfinal or something like that. That would be a shocking thing to pull Hellebuck, who, like I said, I mean, he's MVP of the entire league last year, objectively the best goalie. But you might need to take a drastic measure in a situation like that when we've seen the trends for Hellebuck.
Oh, and here's the funny thing. The projected starting goalie for Team USA and Canada are both in the bottom 5 in the NHL standings right now. I mean, Winnipeg is down there, and so is St. Louis. Although, actually, no, I take that back. St. Louis has been doing better as of late, so they're close. But both of these teams have struggled, the Blues and the Jets, and I just find that kind of funny because the backups who are projected to be backups, which I'll go ahead and say it. I think Jay Oettinger is a lock. That's my opinion. I think he's going to be named tomorrow or whenever Team USA gets
I think that's
released. But I think the other third goalie will be Jeremy Swayman, and that from Boston. I think he deserves to be there too. But I really think this is either Jake's net or it's Hellebuck's net, and it will be very interesting to see after they've played the round robin games against their 3 opponents. Who's going to be the starting goalie when it really matters in those single elimination games? So,
well, I have no doubt Hellebuck's going to be great in the round robin games. Not much is on the line there, like that's when he excels.
I think you still have to be in the top 2,
right? You have to do that. You
move on. I think I'm not sure how that whole hierarchy works right now, but there's 3 groups. There's 4 teams in each group. I think you have to be top 2 in those groups in order to move on or something like that. I'm not sure. But regardless, whatever happens, Oettinger I think is a lock for Team USA. Okay, let's talk about Team Finland here for a second because we've already got 3 locks that we don't even really need to talk about.
Our real favorite team.
Yep. So earlier in June, each team just went ahead and announced 6 players for their starting rosters, and for half of the Finnish roster, they were Dallas Stars, and it's for Mikko Rantanen, Miro Heiskanen, and Esa Lindell. That's no surprise at all. Mikko Rantanen is going to be Team Finland's, Connor McDavid or Nathan McKinnon, whatever you want to look at. He is their best forward. Bar none, no question about it. And then Miro and Esa both are going to be more than likely going to be on that top pairing for Team Finland. I'm sure Miro will be on the right side, Esa will be on the left, and that's just how it's been for the Stars. And Miro can play both sides, so why not keep it the same for Team Finland? And you don't get a whole lot of time to work on chemistry. Now, the reason why we still bring up Finland is because we still have one player who has yet to be named to Team Finland, who I think is a lock, and that is Roope Hintz. I think Roope Hintz is going to be a lock. He's got size. He's got speed. He is very responsible as a two-way center. And he can play both the center and he can play the wing. Although I think he's probably going to be playing center, especially with Barkov not being available for Team Finland. But I think this is a guy that just, I don't know. He's one of the best players in the world when it comes to Team Finland.
Yeah, he's probably going to be their number one center with Barkov out. The really interesting thing here is that Mikko is really going to, in the similar way that he is for Dallas, he's going to be the superstar of Team Finland now too, with Barkov out as well. So he'll have a similar role, and it'll be interesting to see how he kind of plays that, because we know Finland is known as being a much more structured national team. They have a full-time coach for their Finnish national team. They really kind of think about it a lot more than a lot of other nations do, with like the style that they play and the tactics that they're going to implement in the game. So it'll be interesting to see how that meshes with Mikko Rantanen and his ability to kind of just take over hockey games sometimes. So that'll be really fun to see how that kind of plays out as the games go along.
Yeah, and I think Roope, he's going to be played at center. It'd be a mistake if he didn't, especially just based off his faceoff percentage the last two seasons. He's at 57% over the last two seasons, which is just absolutely nuts for faceoff percentage.
What's also really fun about Team Finland is that we might see a reunification of the Granlund, Hintz, and Rantanen line. So former Dallas Star, current Anaheim Duck, Mikael Granlund, I think he's a lock for the roster as well for Team Finland. That would be fun to see again. The three of those guys, I think, will probably play together, because we did see those three guys play together in Dallas down the stretch into the end of the regular season last year and into the playoffs. So that could be something that Team Finland uses to their advantage, in the fact that those three guys have played before. And I'm with you, James, on the whole fact that Roope Hintz, if he doesn't play center, it will be very surprising, because they've still got some good centers. I mean, Granlund can play center, but you've got Hintz, you've got Sebastian Aho from Carolina, Lindell from Florida, you've got Eric Haula as well. All of those guys can play center, but Roope Hintz is not even close to being a second line center compared to any of those guys. I think he's very clearly the number one center for Team Finland. So I'm guessing that you guys,
and really it's about creating space for Mikko, and he's already proven to do that with him last year during those playoffs. I mean, he was getting Mikko open all the time. So yeah, that the speed that he has is going to be unmatched, and that's really what Finland's going to lean on, is that top line, and it's probably going to be Mikko, Roope, and Granlund.
I just find it surprising, and it's going to be interesting to see him play with Hintz, considering he doesn't play with Hintz and they're on the same team. Like, right. I think the most they've played on together is maybe on the power play. That's about it.
Yeah, the power play is pretty dang good. So,
yep, I'm sure they will figure it out. Okay, we've talked about Jason Robertson, Jake Oettinger. We talked about all the Finns, including Roope Hintz. Let's talk about Team Canada here for a second, because there's one who I think is a lock in my opinion, and there's one who's on the bubble that I don't think will be named. Team Canada, and obviously we're talking about Thomas Harley here and Wyatt Johnston, but let's throw Harley on there first. And this is where it kind of gets a little bit brutal. I think this is more about fit for Team Canada than it is based off of the play. They've got plenty of guys, and the D-core will still be very good for Team Canada. But I think what Thomas Harley brings is he just played too well at the Four Nations, which, as much as people hate to talk about it, the fact that it was a year ago now, that it still is a factor. People remember, especially Canadians, remember how well he played in the Four Nations tournament. But it's also just the way that he plays. He's got that ability to put the puck in the net. He's considered a puck-moving defenseman. He hasn't had the greatest year this year, but at the same time, he's been hurt. So he hasn't really been able to fully 100% get under his belt, all his conditioning and stuff like that. So maybe I'll take this back. Is he a lock? No. But is he a very legitimate candidate? Yes, I think that he is. At the end of the day, I think he's going to be on Team Canada.
Yeah, I think he's likely on Canada. I think the main thing that they like about him is he's probably in that 6-7 spot on the defense. Thank you, on the defensive roster for them, and he's just a very comfortable guy to go with, and it's because of his puck moving ability. So in these games, there's even a notch faster than a normal NHL game is. His ability to move the puck calmly and quickly out of his own zone. That's really what you want from your last defenseman on the ice. Really, you want someone who can easily get the puck going back up ice, not going to make a ton of mistakes. Now, recently he has been making those mistakes, but like you said, that's from the injury more than anything. So yeah, that's really what they like most about him. Not even just the scoring side; it's more so the confidence with the puck when he's getting the fastest forechecking in the world.
Yeah, and I agree with y'all that I think he's going to be on the roster too, but I don't think Canada should take him because of the way he has played this season and because of the fact that he's been hurt and he hasn't settled back into NHL speed yet, honestly. I mean, we've seen some games where like he looks amazing and it looks like his old self, he's back already. And then we have multiple games where you point and he has like 12 turnovers in the game and only because Otter's standing on his head, he doesn't look like an absolute buffoon.
Yeah, and that's fair to say, James. He's had a lot of issues in terms of his defensive play this year that we didn't really see last year, and maybe that's just because he had to really truly be that number one guy for Dallas for a long time last year with Miro being out. But I don't know. I don't know what to think.
I think it's coming back. I think it's just the injury. Like once he gets over that and he gets back up to speed, he's going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah, and that was about what I was about to say. Maybe by the time the tournament is ready to start, he's back up to speed already, and it would look like you'd look like a fool to not take him.
Yeah.
So
if the tournament started tomorrow, I would agree with you, James.
Yeah.
So here's the deal with the defenseman. Then do you think he is like a number 7-8 defenseman and he just goes to Italy and he doesn't actually play? Or do you think he's actually in the top 6? Because I think that's a fair conversation to have.
It depends on how he's playing.
Yeah, I think he's 6. I think he's 6 or 7. And then he'll get into at least one game. But
I think if he's back up to speed by the time the tournament starts, he's going to play.
Well, I mean, like, so here's some of the guys that are for Team Canada, right? Okay, so Cale Makar, Devon Taves, Travis Sanheim, Evan Bouchard, Colton Parenko, Josh Morrissey, Mackenzie Weegar, Thomas Harley. You can throw him into that group, but there's also guys like Noah Dobson, Aaron Ekblad, Jacob Chikrin, Dougie Hamilton. There's a lot of guys on this list that may push him down, but for me, I think he's playing. I don't know if he's necessarily going to be a top 4, but I definitely think he is going to be. He's going to be playing for sure in the top 6 for Team Canada when it comes time to play for those teams. So are we all kind of in agreement that he's on the roster?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now. This is the toughest projection of the group because I think he deserves to be there. But Wyatt Johnston, for me, he is not close to a lock and he's not likely, but he is definitely possible. I mean, this is a guy who's got strong hockey IQ. He's reliable. He's positionally he's flexible, so he can play the wing if he needs to. He can play center but I don't think Canada is going to be dying for centers at this tournament.
I think they are all centers. Every single one of them is a center.
I was about to say, I think they're all centers. But I just literally think that the problem is just the competition in the forward group for Wyatt is just ridiculous. Like if he is US born or any other country, he's probably on the roster and probably their number one center on the roster. Like, yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how deep the depth of Canada's forwards truly are.
Yeah, Canada's forward group might be the best group of forwards ever assembled on ice. Like, it is that insanely crazy. Now, there's one situation I thought of that Johnson could actually make the roster, and that is if Canada does actually end up going with guys like Tom Wilson and maybe one other kind of bigger, heavier checking guy. And that's more so just worried about not knowing exactly how it's going to be officiated. So if it is a lot tighter, like we're seeing right now in the World Juniors, and Tom Wilson would immediately get penalized for every body check he throws, then you might be able to pivot and switch up Tom Wilson for Johnston and get a little bit more scoring out of him there. But that's the only situation. That's a huge stretch. I don't think the Olympics is going to be called similar to the way the juniors is right now. And I would call it very unlikely that he makes the roster.
Now, what he does have in his favor is that he can play both on the power play and on the penalty kill. And now I know we haven't seen him play penalty kill minutes this year under Glenn Gulletson, but he played for 2 years underneath Pete DeBoer in that system playing penalty kill, and he was very good at it. And he was part of that group that was one of the best penalty kill units in the NHL. So if you're looking for a guy that can, play and on the power play in a pinch, that can, do PK responsibilities and still play in the bottom six, which that's probably where he's going to be slotted, I think Wyatt Johnston makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, he can play positionally. He can play either on the power on the center, or he can play on the wing.
And I think another factor is that out of all the younger players who could make Team Canada, he has the most experience. I mean, he has a ton of playoff games already under his belt, and he's looked good in a majority of those playoff games.
Yeah, it's hard not to take Celebrini there just because of the insane heater he's on right now. But Johnson definitely has the experience in the big time games, with the way Celebrini absolutely will not. This will be his first taste of any kind of truly meaningful hockey.
And you talk about his Game 7 performances specifically. I mean, he has been clutch in the games that matter the most to the Dallas Stars.
And that makes me wonder. And he's also got Jim Nell in the ear of Doug Armstrong, the general manager of Team Canada. He's an assistant GM, Jim Nell is, and he's just, I'm sure he's making a case for Wyatt Johnston to be there. I mean, it makes a lot of sense for Wyatt Johnston. I just don't think it happens because there's just so many players, so many forwards on Team Canada that probably deserve to be there, or they're just locks because of their GMs or international play or whatever. But
there's so many that deserve to be there that are not going to be there.
Right. That's what's so cool about these rosters.
Yeah, that is true.
They're two super teams.
Now, before I bring up this last player, I do want to bring up Liam Bichsel as well, because if Liam Bichsel, one, was healthy, and two, he wasn't, suspended, I guess, from Team Switzerland, he would be on his country's Olympic team, and probably top two would be my guess. So that's another Dallas Stars player that probably should be there, but will not be for numerous reasons.
Yeah. Never want to be injured, but it kind of turned that into a non-story, didn't it?
It did, which is kind of great. Which, bad situation turning into a good thing, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. It's
at least a silver lining, maybe.
Yeah, a little convoluted, but the last player I want to throw in there is, and not a lot of people talk about this because they forget about this, but Radek Faksa. Radek Faksa is a lock for Team Czechia, and Team Czechia won the 2024 World Championships, and I think this one matters a lot for this team. I mean, he is the definition of a true bottom six forward. Probably third line for Czechia, maybe fourth line. But this guy, he's defensively responsible. He's face-offs. That's not even a question for Radek Faksa. He's one of the best face-off men. Penalty killing, and he doesn't score goals, Chris, as a bottom six forward. So that's great. That's exactly what you need.
Piling up assists, though.
Yeah, he is piling up assists to his credit. Yes,
even
but
Because he doesn't play on the power play.
Yeah, that's true. That's very fair. But that's another Dallas Stars player that we can root for in the Olympics. That I think he's a lock. There's no chance that he's not on Team Czechia.
Czechia has no chance either, though. So,
you really think that?
Yeah, I think they're on the quarter. If they get to the quarterfinals, that's a Czechia win.
I mean, they are not going to be as good as the Big Four. Like we think of the Big Four: USA, Canada, Sweden, Finland. But I still think they've got a decent roster. I don't know if you've seen some of the projected rosters for Czechia. It's pretty decent. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's fine, but yeah, I wouldn't expect them to. Even the NHL guys they do have, like, it's kind of shocking. Like, they do have a lot of NHL guys. Most of the roster is going to be NHL players, but like none of them are goal scorers. Like, maybe that says something about Czechia hockey. Like, they're very true to their name. They like to check.
Well, I mean, let's look at this because I'm curious.
I get nothing for that.
It was just an accurate statement, Chris.
Isn't Pasternak Czech? I'm pretty sure he's Czech.
Maybe.
Right?
There you go. There's one. Oh, what?
Thomas Hurdle. That's a pretty good one.
There you go.
Marty Natchez.
Well, that's only this year. That's not fair. That's a true.
That's only this year. There. He was good for Carolina too.
He was fine for Carolina. He was also playing for Carolina though, so it's tough to tell.
Pavel Zacha.
Rantanen looked bad in Carolina.
That's fair.
Pavel, who's it? Your Pasternak one was a good one. I'll give you that one.
Pavel Zacha.
Forgot about him. Yeah, who? Yeah, keep going.
He's a good one too, Chris. He is a good one.
Great.
There's all
as good as Radek Faksa.
Probably. Well, anyways, those are the Dallas Stars that have a chance of making the roster. I think the biggest one from a Dallas Stars perspective in terms of storylines is just Jason Robertson not making the roster.
That'll be the biggest storyline out of the roster announcements, period, if that happens.
And everybody is talking about this right now. And that's crazy considering you're going to have guys like, no offense to JT Miller, but JT Miller should probably not be on this roster based off of how he's played this year. You've also got guys like Kyle Connor, who has not been all that great over the last couple of years as well. I don't
Nelson
understand.
Was legitimately terrible in the Four Nations. He was probably the worst player on the ice when U.S. and Canada were playing in both games.
And some people even have like Vincent Trocheck over now in his defense, he has been good for the Rangers, but he has not been top 5 in NHL scoring. So again, I just don't get it. Really, truly, 100% don't get it.
It would be stupid. It would be literally repeating what happened 10 years ago. That's the craziest part. Like, you think they'd learned the lesson. And especially now with, like, the roster stacks up against Canada now. Like, obviously, we talked about Canada's forward group is just insanity, maybe the best one ever. The D and the goaltenders for the U.S. are better.
I think are better.
Period. Yeah. No, I don't think they are. I know they are. And the fact that you have a roster that actually stacks up against Canada now, and you're going to leave off the best goal scorer is just so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, what if Canada played it this way and was doing stupid crap like this and leaving let's leave McKinnon off because we've already got McDavid plays similar to McKinnon, so we don't need two guys that play the same way. Like, that's the level of stupidity that's happening right now.
It's just literally just because he doesn't fit into the mold of what Bill Guerin wants to build. That's about it. And he's just he's throwing a 30 to 40 goal scorer off to the side.
Well, that's the weird thing. It's not just Bill Guerin. For whatever reason, USA Hockey does this. Like, what consistency is going on in U.S. hockey that's having this kind of thinking persist? Like, that it just seems really weird to me.
I mean, I agree with you, Chris. I still do not understand how he is not on the team.
We need to get a journalist on there.
Well, and then I know a lot of people were complaining about today. They had Bill Guerin on Frankly Hockey, our favorite insider guy, who we see after the first period of every Stars game. Stars game.
I'm going to do some fan service here because that was absolutely idiotic. So the Frankly Hockey thing, they had Bill Guerin on to interview him. Not one question about who's on the roster or about all the reports that Robertson's not on there. They didn't say Robertson's name once in the entire episode. Like, that is crazy to not ask about that when you have the guy right in front of you. And that's the whole story of the hockey world today is Robo's likely being left off. That is so dumb. And I know it's the fun thing to do to crap all over Frankly Hockey, but man, is it easy to crap on right now because that was stupid.
There were a lot of people that were upset about that, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to balance, asking tough questions while also, trying to get him to come back again in the future. But when that is literally the biggest story of the day, you could at least hint with a question to asking about Jason Robertson. You could ask something as to, all right, so what are you looking at for in a player in terms of for Team USA? Are you looking for a more physical guy, or are you looking for just pure skill? Or something
there was no tough question at all. I mean, that was basically just a conversation. Like, there wasn't anything about the Olympic roster really in the talk. Like, there kind of was, but it was more about how he views building teams. Like, that was the dumbest crap I've seen. It was a complete waste of my time to watch that.
I watched I think I watched like 7 minutes and then I gave up on it because I was just like, this is going nowhere.
Because I legitimately could not believe. I was like, surely they're going to ask that. Maybe they're just buttering him up to try and get a better answer out of him or something. And it just ended. And I was totally dumbfounded that question did not come up. I mean, it's stupid. And the fact that show gets pushed in our face and they refuse to ask real questions is just dumb.
Yep. And as big a guest as that is, I mean, that is Bill Guerin. Like at the right time too.
Straight up. DLLS had Bill Guerin on earlier in the year, and they literally asked him, is Romo going to be on the roster? Like, the tiny podcast that gets less than 1,000 views is going to have more journalistic integrity than you? It's stupid.
Agreed. Again, you don't have to convince me, Chris. Well, I guess Frank. We can. Sorry, Frank. Yes. Where do you think that the Olympics are going to end with? Gold, silver, bronze. If you had to say it right now,
silver. Who do you think for America?
Really, you think America is going to win silver?
Yeah, I think the U.S. and the Canada are just so far and away the best teams, and really. Internationally, it's always U.S., Canada, and Russia. And since Russia's not able to play, it really leaves those two. And they're just so much better than Finland or Sweden is. And maybe there's an upset. It's a single elimination tournament, so weird stuff can happen, but it really shouldn't.
Sorry, a random side tangent real quick. I think it is a travesty that Alexander Ovechkin is not going to get to play in the Olympics. That sucks. I really hate that. But again, I understand. I get it why Russia and Belarus are not going to be there. But regardless, I think that Nate EG7204, Czechia wins gold thanks to the tribal chief.
10 goals for Foxa in the miracle run for Czechia. That would be crazy.
Gold medal game.
Y'all are all forgetting about Latvia, okay? Latvia's going to knock Canada out in the quarterfinals.
Right.
It's what they've been doing on the national stage. So,
well, for me, I think that the U.S. are going to get their revenge for Four Nations. I think that they're going to their defense and their goaltending is too good, and it's immensely better than Canada's defense and goaltending. And while I will agree that the forward group for Canada is one of the scariest I've ever seen in history, with McDavid, with McKinnon, with
McDavid,
Crosby.
McKinnon, Crosby.
Crosby is your number 3 center. That's nuts, probably. With that, and he may even play the wing. I don't even know. Sidney Crosby is going to play the wing. But regardless, I just think that's going to be a bigger push for Team USA, is that they're going to be able to rely upon their goaltending and their defense a lot more than Canada is, and they're going to come out on top. I think it's going to be gold medal for US, and I think obviously Canada will get silver, and I'll go ahead and say Finland is going to get bronze, just because there's a lot of Dallas Stars representation there. So if US does not have a chance to win the gold medal, then I'm all in on Finland, just from a Dallas Stars perspective.
Duh.
Yeah, easy. Okay, well, we got about 10-ish minutes, so let's go ahead and throw this in here, because I wanted to kind of talk about this. First off, I want to throw in something that I threw out on X a couple of days ago, and just because I wanted to see what people would say and talk about. But and this is we're back to Dallas Stars only here, guys. By the way, for those of you listening, I threw out the question: do the Dallas Stars really need to do anything in terms of trading or whatever? And the reason why I threw that out there is that if it wasn't for the miraculous run that the Colorado Avalanche are having right now, the Stars would be the best team in the NHL right now. And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, okay, do we really need this if our team is really doing this well? And this is without, we've dealt with so many injuries, as have so many other teams. So let me get y'all's thoughts on that before we take any step forwards with the whole trade rumors and what we've seen on X and social media and stuff like that. What do y'all think?
Yeah, to me, if the question is right now, do the Stars need to do anything? It's absolutely not. No, you don't touch it when it's working. You've got plenty of time to figure out what and if you want to add. There's also plenty of time for injuries to still happen, and you need to patch holes in situations like that. So right now, absolutely not. But before the trade deadline or before the roster freeze, whenever the Olympics happen, they absolutely have to do something at the deadline. I mean, you're a contender. It would honestly be it'd be bad for your team if you don't do something. It would show that you're not really invested in this year, I think, in my opinion. That's kind of the way the NHL has gone. So something is going to have to happen. What that is, I think, can be very different for the Stars this year. I mean, the past 2 years, they have gone out and got the big fish, got someone who can make a real splash on the team and really change the dynamic. I think that's going to be very different this year for the Stars. I more likely see them either going for, if they can get Rasmus Andersson, obviously, that's not super splashy. It's kind of splashy still, though, because he's probably the best right defenseman that's going to be available at the time. But more likely, I think he's going to cost too much assets-wise. So more likely, I think you're going to find 2 big checking guys, one that can play on a third-line role that has a little bit of scoring touch, and then one that can be a solid fourth-line guy and that really add some extra physicality to the team. I think that's what you're going to see. They're going to be pure rentals because I think these guys are going to figure out a way to get that Robertson deal done before then. And yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. It's not going to be a goal scorer that the Stars are going to go out and get. They're going to go add some playoff guys.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be some depth. I'm with you there, Chris, where they should not do anything right now. It would be a mistake. For one thing, we still don't know the status of Sagan. We don't know if Sagan's going to come back or not yet. That could really drastically change what the Stars go for in terms of goal scoring. Like, if Sagan's not coming back, then you might want to try for someone who can score a little bit more.
Y'all have kind of thrown out some names out there. And the thing that I think you always need more of is just guys who have been there. And Talis Lizzie, trade Harley for Makar. No offense, Thomas Harley, I would take that in a heartbeat. But
I don't think he takes offense to that.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't take offense to that. But the deal is I think the Stars still need more guys who have been there, done that. And with Mikko Rantanen, they did that, and they got the entire package of what they needed. They needed a superstar guy who could take over games. They needed a guy who could be over a point per game player. They got a guy who's won the Stanley Cup before. Like, all of those things are entailed in him. But without Tyler Seguin on the roster, that's another guy who has spent a lot of time in the playoffs and knows how to win. He did it when he was a rookie. He won the Stanley Cup as a rookie. I think you need more guys like that have been there, done that. And that's why guys like Blake Coleman do intrigue me. But I'm with you, Chris, and that I think any kind of trade, I mean, the Stars have been connected to the Calgary Flames because of Chris Tanev. We traded for Chris Tanev a couple of years ago. But I just don't think they are going to accept the value that the Stars think these players are worth. I think that the Stars are not going to offer up a package that would be good enough for Rasmus Andersson and Blake Coleman that the Flames are going to accept. I don't think that's a possibility. With now other guys that I've seen, like Kiefer Sherwood, who's having kind of a career year and is going to be purely a rental if he comes. That intrigues me a little bit more, but again, that defeats the whole purpose of what I literally just was talking about with the whole Stanley Cup experience. So what I think is going to happen is that Jim Nill is going to do Jim Nill things, and he's going to find guys that are not being talked about right now, that are going to be on the market, that he thinks are going to, make this team better. And for me, anybody that's currently on the roster, I just wouldn't want to give up. I mean, if people ask for Ritz-Kovian or if they ask for Borg, that door is closed. And I just don't think that the Stars would be willing to part with anybody like that. And they have some people that are okay, prospect wise, like Cameron Schmidt. I mean, but he's still a third rounder. He's still a small guy, doesn't have a ton of, value for other teams who have big, giant, great prospect pools right now, unlike the Stars. But I really like Kiefer Sherwood. That one intrigues me more than anything that Calgary has shown towards me.
So that's boring. Let's get to the fun one. Would you trade Ritz-Kovian in a first for Alex Tuck as a rental? Because I would.
Do the Stars have any first round picks left?
Is Seguin out?
Yeah, they got one left. Yeah, Sagan's out. James.
Yeah, I'd do it if Seguin.
Yeah, I think Seguin is almost for sure out. The only reason they're not is because he recovered so quickly from the last one. But even if he's not, I mean, holding out hope that he's going to come back in the Western Conference Final and be anything similar to what you would need him to do would be crazy.
I mean, he's done it the last couple of times. Every time he's come back from an injury, he comes back and he scores.
He's been pretty good.
I know, yeah. But you can't expect it. Is what I'm saying. If you're expecting it, then you're making yourself $9 million worse than the other teams.
Is it me expecting it if he does it every time, or is it just what he does?
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the whole Mark Stone saga. Always gets hurt and then comes back in the playoffs is amazing. I mean, Seguin has done that, but not necessarily come back during playoff time.
Now, apparently the package that would be required for Kiefer Sherwood would be Maverick Bork plus something else.
No, that would be stupid.
That's
not what it would require, by the way.
Okay. Would you be willing to trade Maverick Bork plus extras for Kiefer Sherwood?
No. I would not trade any roster play. I wouldn't even trade Ritz-Kovian for Kiefer Sherwood.
I see. My thing about Ritz-Kovian is that he just provides something that the Stars really don't have a lot of, and that's just the willingness to get in there and be nasty if he needs to be. I mean, this keeps sticking in my head, but I love how he reacted to Brad Marchand after the Stars got stomped 4-0 against the Panthers. Like, we need more people like that. And we have people like that with Ritz-Kovian and with Bischel. And if we get rid of Ritzkovian, that's another aspect of a roster player that we don't have that won't be good in the playoffs. I think that is very underrated. And I know maybe I'm overinflating the value of Ritzkovian right now, but I think he is going to be very, very key in the playoffs. That's just, again, just a gut feeling. I have nothing to back it up stats wise with it. It just, he is a type of guy that I think will thrive in the playoffs.
I love Ritzkovian, and I agree with what you say. I would be shocked if Ritzkovian is actually in the starting lineup come game 1 of the playoffs. I think it's just way too hard to trust a rookie like that in that kind of spot. And I think that's really where the addition is going to fill in for this Stars team, is going to be in that third line spot where Ritzkovian is right now.
We just don't, he is not getting healthy scratched over guys like Nathan Bastian, who, by the way, just got sent down for a conditioning loan, and not getting scratched in favor of Colin Blackwell. And yes, I know
if it's Ritzkovian or Blackwell and Bastian on a fourth line, though, that's a different story. Ritzkovian isn't getting scratched because he's a goal scorer and he's playing with guys who can score goals right now. If one addition is made, he's dropped and he's not going to be playing on a goal scoring line. And in those situations, I'd rather have Blackwell and Bastian, especially those guys with experience in the playoffs.
I don't know. I just think that you really need a guy like Ritzkovian, and I would love to see Ritzkovian and Sherwood on a line together. Like, just Sherwood is nasty. He's one of the I think he leads the NHL in hits right now, if that's correct. And he's kind of having a career year in terms of the goal scoring department, so that also doesn't hurt either. But I just don't. When I look at all the rumors that are around, this is why I say this about the post and everything, is just I don't see anyone currently, based off of the rumors, that I really would like to have and be willing to give up some of the assets that we have right now. Right.
Well, all the trade talks online are dumb anyway, because they always think it's going to be hockey trades, and they're never hockey trades. You almost never trade roster players for roster players anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
Those guys are probably likely available, but like the Stars are not going to be giving up Maverick Bourque for a third or fourth liner. Like, that's not going to happen.
And like there was that I'm sure you all saw that one trade that a Flames fan page made. It was like Nazem Kadri and Rasmus Anderson, and it was like Maverick Bourque, Liam Bichel, and like, you know, a first and Cameron Schmidt. And I'm like, there's not a chance.
Well, and the Canes thought they were going to get Wyatt Johnston, Robertson, and Hartley for Rantanen. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, that's not a thing that actually happens in hockey really anymore. The last big one, I feel like, was the Tkachuk trade to Florida. Like, that's the last true hockey trade of that magnitude, at least.
Yes, correct. So. Here's the other thing about Alex Tuch, though, too, Chris, is that, you know, Buffalo's coming in to Dallas tomorrow night, and they're on a 9-game winning streak right now.
Yeah, never underestimate Buffalo's ability to screw crap up.
I know, but like they're
so good at it.
I don't understand how they're the most mind-blowing team to me, because you look at the roster and their top 3 defensemen, Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, and Bowen Byram. And
it's pretty great.
And then not only on top of that, they've got some decent goaltending. And then on top of all of that, Alex Lyon, who I guess just got hurt, is like their number 1 goalie. He's playing ridiculous this season. And then you look at their forward group, and it's not that half bad either. I'm not going to get into that because that would take another 10, 15 minutes. But like, I don't get the Buffalo Sabres. And if they're in a playoff spot, they're not trading Alex Tuch. There's not a chance.
I agree. But they won't be in a playoff spot, though. We don't have to worry about that.
Given a month and a half, I think.
And the other great thing is, if you do get Alex Tuch, you for sure win the Cup, because that's exactly what happens to the Sabres whenever they leave Buffalo.
That's true.
They immediately win Stanley Cup.
That's true. We need one of their players.
You see, the problem is, though, they have to look like they're going to make the playoffs and then not make the playoffs, which is going to make them not want to trade Alex Tuch, because they might make the playoffs. And then by the time,
don't worry, James.
End of the season, they're not going to make the playoffs again.
They're going to follow this losing streak up with something amazing.
Because they can't get good draft picks either. So they have to finish just outside the playoffs.
And get like the 14th or 15th pick, right? Rather than like the 1st or 3rd, right?
And somehow still get Jack Eichel and Alex Tuck.
Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, I think that's good enough. We've bantered enough. That there's lots of other directions we could go. But thank you guys for being here tonight and talking along with us. We appreciate all of you as always. If you are listening on the audio side, leave us a 5-star review. If you are listening on the YouTube side and watching, click like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell. And make sure that you never miss an episode of Starcastic Remarks there. We'd appreciate all your help there. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Do it for us. Please, please, please. I'm not afraid and not over begging everyone to do so. And then if you would, once again, thank you to DraftKings Sportsbook. Promo code there is THPN. The next time you are there, we've got 2 games back to back, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day for the Dallas Stars. It's kind of a weird way to do a back to back. But nonetheless, we got 2 games in 2 days, and Dallas Stars are going to be basically a game every other day after that through the month of January. So it's going to be very much a playoff style schedule for the Stars moving forward. So alongside Chris and alongside James, my name is Ryan. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. We hope you guys have a fantastic morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you guys are listening. Go Stars.